I loved my sister. She only loved me when she needed me. Blood doesn't always mean bond. Growing up, people used to say that siblings were automatic friends. That blood created loyalty without effort. That sisters were built-in protectors for each other. Malik Johnson learned early that those sayings were not promises. They were just hopes. He was 8 years old the first time he noticed the difference between how his sister treated him and how she treated everyone else. His sister's name was Naomi Johnson. She was 3 years older, prettier by everyone's standards, louder, sharper, and more confident. Teachers loved her confidence. Neighbors admired her beauty. Their mother, Ruth Johnson, defended her fiercely. Malik, on the other hand, was quiet, observant, soft-spoken, the kind of boy who listened more than he spoke. One afternoon, Malik stood in the doorway of their shared bedroom, holding a broken toy car. "Naomi," he said gently, "you stepped on it." Naomi didn't even look up from her mirror. "So," she replied, applying lip gloss she had no business owning at 11. "It was my birthday gift," Malik said. She rolled her eyes. "You shouldn't leave your junk on the floor." "I didn't," he said. "You." "Go tell Mama," she snapped. "You always do." Malik didn't move. That annoyed her. She turned, eyes cold. "Why are you still standing there?" "Because you didn't say sorry." Naomi laughed. Not a soft laugh. A sharp one. "You want an apology?" she asked. "For a toy?" Malik swallowed. "Yes." She stepped closer, towering over him. "Grow up, Malik. You're so sensitive." That word, sensitive, would follow him for years. He walked away without another word. Not because he didn't care, but because he already knew how the story would end. Their house wasn't abusive. There were no beatings. No shouting every night. But favoritism has a quiet cruelty that cuts deeper than noise. Naomi stayed out late. Malik had curfews. Naomi talked back. Malik was punished for tone. Naomi cried, and the house stopped. Malik cried, and he was told to be strong. "Why do you always take her side?" Malik once asked his mother when he was 13. Ruth froze at the sink, hands wet with soap. "I don't," she said quickly. "You do," Malik replied. "She breaks things. She lies. She yells. And I still get blamed." Ruth turned slowly. "Naomi has a strong personality," she said. "You know that. So that means she can hurt people?" Ruth sighed, tired. "Malik, you're the younger one. You should understand." "Understand what?" Malik wondered. That his feelings mattered less? That night, Naomi overheard him crying softly in his bed. She stood at the doorway, arms crossed. "Why are you always acting like a victim?" she asked. Malik looked up, eyes red. "I just want you to like me." She snorted. "I don't have time to babysit your emotions." Then she left, turning off the light behind her. In that darkness, Malik learned his first survival skill. Love people quietly. Expect nothing back. By 2025, Malik was 32. He had done everything right. College. Student loans. 2 jobs. No trouble. No scandals. He worked as a community housing coordinator in Atlanta, helping families find affordable apartments. It wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. And Malik cared about things that mattered. Naomi was 35 and living a different kind of life. Instagram perfect. Designer bags on credit. Relationships that burned fast and ended louder. She moved from city to city chasing opportunity, but never staying long enough to build stability. They spoke maybe 3 times a year. Birthdays. Holidays. Emergencies. And emergencies were the only times Naomi sounded kind. That's when Malik's phone rang one Tuesday evening. "Hey, little brother," Naomi said, her voice unusually soft. Malik paused. That tone meant something was wrong. "Hey," he replied carefully. Everything okay? There was silence. Then a sigh. I need help. Malik closed his eyes. Naomi was being evicted. Behind on rent. Job contract ended. Credit ruined. She needed a place to stay. I wouldn't ask, she said quickly, but I don't have anyone else. Malik sat on his couch, staring at the wall. You do, he said. You've always had people. They're busy, she replied. You know how life is. He did know. He also knew she hadn't called him in over a year. Just for a while, Naomi added. Until I get back on my feet. There it was. Not I miss you. Not I'm sorry. Just I need. Malik swallowed hard. You can stay, he said. Relief flooded her voice. I knew you wouldn't abandon me. That sentence hurt more than she realized. Because she had abandoned him a long time ago. Naomi arrived with 4 suitcases and no gratitude. She took the bigger room without asking. She criticized Malik's furniture. She rearranged his kitchen. You still live like a bachelor, she said, laughing. Malik smiled politely. But at night, lying in bed, he felt that old familiar ache. The one where love felt one-sided. The one where he gave and gave, hoping one day it would finally be returned. At first, Malik told himself to be patient. Naomi had always been difficult when life wasn't going her way. This was just stress. That's what he repeated every morning as he made coffee for 2 and left 1 mug untouched on the counter for her. She never said thank you. Instead, she complained. The Wi-Fi here is slow. Why don't you stock almond milk? You really should paint these walls. Malik listened, nodded, adjusted. One evening, after a long day of helping a single mother avoid eviction, Malik came home to find Naomi sitting on his couch, scrolling through her phone, shoes kicked off, food containers spread across the coffee table. Hey, he said softly. Did you eat? Yeah, she replied without looking up. I ordered Thai. Oh, Malik said. I was going to cook. She shrugged. You can eat later. Something inside him shifted. Not snapped. Not exploded. Shifted. The exhaustion wasn't just physical. It was emotional. Living with Naomi pulled Malik back into memories he thought he'd outgrown. The way she spoke over him. The way she dismissed his opinions. The way she assumed his space belonged to her. One night, Malik stood in the doorway of the living room. Naomi, he said carefully, can we talk? She sighed dramatically and put her phone down. What now? I just feel like, he paused, choosing his words, I'm invisible again. She laughed. You're being dramatic. I'm serious. She rolled her eyes. You always are. That sentence landed like a punch. Always. As if his feelings had been a lifelong inconvenience. You're helping me, she continued, standing up. That's what family does. Why are you acting like it's a burden? Malik stared at her. Because it was a burden. But not because of money. Not because of space. Because love without respect feels like self-betrayal. Weeks passed. Naomi didn't look for work seriously. She slept late. She went out at night. She borrowed Malik's car without asking. One afternoon, Malik came home early and found his gas tank nearly empty. Did you drive my car today? He asked. Naomi didn't look guilty. She looked offended. Why are you interrogating me? I just want to know, he said. I had a full tank this morning. So what? She snapped. I needed it. You didn't ask. She crossed her arms. Since when do siblings ask permission? Since respect mattered, Malik wanted to say. Instead, he said nothing. And that silence cost him more than he realized. The breaking point came quietly. No shouting. No slammed doors. Just truth. Malik was washing dishes when Naomi walked in, phone pressed to her ear. Yeah, she laughed. I'm staying with my brother. He's always been the soft one. He won't kick me out. Malik froze. Soft. She ended the call and turned to him. What? She asked. Why are you looking at me like that? He dried his hands slowly. Do you really think I'm soft? He asked. She shrugged. You're nice. Too nice. No, Malik said calmly. I'm patient. There's a difference. She scoffed. Same thing. Malik shook his head. No, he repeated. One is a choice. The other is what you think makes me usable. Naomi stared at him, surprised. For the first time in her life, Malik wasn't shrinking. They sat across from each other at the dining table. No phones. No distractions. I love you, Malik began. I always have. Naomi opened her mouth to interrupt, but he raised his hand. Please, he said. Just listen. She did. I've spent my whole life trying to earn your kindness, he continued. I forgave you before you ever apologized. I showed up when you didn't even call. Her expression hardened. And now? She asked. And now, Malik said, voice steady, I realize love that only appears when you need something is not love. It's convenience. That's unfair, Naomi snapped. Is it? Malik asked softly. When was the last time you asked how I was, without needing something? She opened her mouth, closed it. Silence answered for her. I didn't know you felt this way, Naomi said finally. Malik nodded. Because you never asked. Tears welled in her eyes, not from guilt, but from shock. I'm your sister, she whispered. You're supposed to be there for me. I was, Malik replied. But you were never there for me. That truth hung between them. Uncomfortable. Undeniable. I'm not abandoning you, Malik said. But I am changing how I show up. She frowned. What does that mean? It means you have 60 days, he said gently. To get a job. To save. To move out. Her eyes widened. You're kicking me out? No, he said. I'm teaching you how to stand without leaning on my silence. Their mother called the next day. Naomi had told her everything, except the parts where she hurt him. Why are you doing this to your sister? Ruth asked. Malik took a deep breath. I'm not doing anything to her, he said. I'm finally doing something for myself. There was a pause. You've changed, his mother said. Yes, Malik replied. I had to. Naomi didn't speak to Malik for 3 days after the conversation. She moved through the apartment like a guest who felt insulted by hospitality. Doors closed softly, but deliberately. Dishes were washed only when she needed them. Eye contact disappeared. Malik noticed everything. And for the first time in his life, he didn't rush to fix it. He went to work. He cooked for himself. He slept deeply. The guilt tried to creep in late at night, whispering that he was selfish, that family shouldn't draw lines. But another voice, quieter, steadier, answered back. You are not wrong for wanting peace. Naomi had never been forced to sit with herself before. There was always someone to blame. Someone to move in with. Someone to lean on. But Malik wasn't chasing her moods anymore. One afternoon, she overheard him laughing on the phone with a coworker. Warm. Relaxed. Free. That laugh bothered her more than any argument. She realized something unsettling. Malik wasn't punishing her. He was healing without her. That night, she stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror longer than usual. Why does he look happier? She whispered to herself. And for the first time, the answer didn't involve him. Naomi finally got a job interview. Not because she wanted independence, but because time was running out. She came home that evening quieter than usual. It didn't go great, she admitted, standing in the kitchen. Malik nodded. Do you want feedback? She hesitated. From you. Yes, he said calmly. She sighed. Okay. You talk about yourself like people owe you, Malik said gently. Employers don't respond well to that. The words stung, but they were honest. Naomi swallowed. You always see things clearly. Malik met her eyes. I always did. You just never listened. That weekend, Naomi finally spoke the words she'd avoided for decades. Do you hate me? She asked suddenly. They were sitting on the balcony, the city humming below them. Malik thought carefully before answering. No, he said. But I stopped chasing your approval. She nodded slowly, tears gathering. I didn't know how to be kind to you, she admitted. You were everything I wasn't. Malik frowned. What do you mean? You were consistent, grounded, loved without demanding attention, she said. I didn't know how to compete with that. Malik exhaled. I never wanted to compete, he said. I just wanted a sister. Naomi cried that night. Real tears. Uncontrolled. I'm sorry, she whispered. I really am. Malik listened. But something had changed. I forgive you, he said. But forgiveness doesn't erase patterns. It just releases resentment. She nodded, wiping her face. I know. And for the first time, she meant it. The 60 days passed. Naomi found a small studio across town. On moving day, she stood at the door with her suitcase. Thank you, she said quietly. Malik smiled. You're welcome. She hesitated. Can we try again? Malik paused. Yes, he said slowly. But differently. She nodded. I understand. Their relationship didn't magically transform, but it changed. Naomi called, without needing anything. She listened. She asked questions. Malik noticed the effort. And he kept his boundaries. They met for coffee sometimes. Laughed cautiously. Healed slowly. Love, Malik learned, didn't have to hurt to be real. One evening, Malik wrote in his journal, I loved my sister even when she didn't love me back. But loving someone should never require abandoning yourself. Boundaries didn't break us. They gave us a chance to rebuild, honestly. He closed the book. And for the first time, his heart felt light. Malik learned quickly that progress didn't mean perfection. Some weeks, Naomi showed up as the sister he'd always hoped for, calling just to talk, asking about his work, listening without interrupting. Other weeks, she slipped. She complained. She centered herself. She forgot. But Malik no longer mistook effort for entitlement. When Naomi canceled plans last minute without explanation, Malik didn't chase her. When she spoke over him, he calmly said, Let me finish. When she joked about old Malik, he replied, That version of me doesn't live here anymore. Each boundary felt awkward, unnatural, necessary. Healing, Malik realized, wasn't dramatic. It was repetitive. Ruth Johnson had always believed time softened wounds. She invited both of them to Sunday dinner. Naomi arrived late. Malik arrived early. As Malik helped his mother in the kitchen, Ruth studied him closely. You seem different, she said carefully. Malik smiled. I feel lighter. Ruth hesitated. Your sister says you've been distant. Malik met her eyes. I've been honest. That startled her.